From SSHI Stadium in Piscataway, we've got football in the Big Ten a week before Christmas. And yes, there's snow as well. In fact, from Wednesday into Thursday, 8 inches of the white stuff fell in Jersey. Great job by the grounds crew of clearing the field and getting us all set and ready for action here on a Friday night. Nebraska visiting Rutgers for the final game of the regular season. The Cornhuskers at 2-5 and Rutgers at 3-5. Those 3 wins for the Scarlet Knights equal their total in conference play for the last 4 years, going winless the last 2 seasons in Big Ten play. And both teams trying to end on an uptick and head into the offseason with some momentum. Football on the Big Ten Network is presented by Marathon. As we get ready to set the stage, and Nebraska coming in here, they had some momentum after a win over Purdue, but falling a week ago in a disappointing loss 24-17 to Minnesota. Rutgers getting the victory last week against Maryland in overtime, 27-24. And with that, we say hello, everybody. Brandon Gaudin and James Laurinaitis, very happy to be with you. And James, the quarterback situation for each of these teams is certainly a storyline. We start with Rutgers. Now, they have Nebraska transfer Noah Vedral. He's been the guy this year. He left last week in the 3rd quarter with an ankle injury. We did not see him out on the field during warmups. That means it is most likely Art Sitkowski's show.
Yeah, it is, and you know it's got to be killing Noah Vedral, the Nebraska kid, not able to play against his former team and his former coach, not only at Nebraska, but also at UCF. But Art Sitkowski has done a very nice job when he's had to fill in for Noah Vedral. He started against Purdue, had 152 yards, couple touchdowns, and last week against Maryland, a 61-yard, 11-play drive that led to the game-tying field goal. I thought he was efficient. He'll need to be efficient here tonight to beat the Cornhuskers.
And it's Avi on the other side. It's going to be the Nebraska Cornhuskers getting Adrian Martinez another start against this Rutgers Scarlet Knights crew that is heading out here at SHI Stadium. Has 3 wins this year. Interestingly, all of them have come on the road. They are 0-4 here at home, hoping to buck that trend this evening. So there's Art Sitkowski, and again on the other side, Adrian Martinez, who has had his ups and downs this year, James, but overall, Adrian Martinez, the last 3 games, is throwing it at the best clip he has all season.
Yeah, he is, Brandon. You see the 6 total touchdowns responsible for there. 74% in the last 3 games is Adrian Martinez, and trust me, Nebraska fans understand his ability on the ground is electric, but it's through the air. He needs throws like this downfield if he wants to take the next step in being an all-time Big Ten quarterback in this conference. He missed a couple a week ago, Brandon. He missed a Wan'Dale Robinson a couple times. He missed Martin down the sidelines. I thought he missed a read on Allen as well up the seam. If Adrian Martinez wants to be the next level in the Big Ten, he's got to make those downfield throws.
And here come the visiting Cornhuskers. They certainly are well aware of what it's like to play in these temperatures and this cold weather. They thought they might have to alter their travel plans, but thankfully, the team chartered flight got in as scheduled yesterday, and Scott Frost has his team ready to go tonight in the regular season finale. So it is chilly there, and our man down in the elements, we welcome in Coley Harvey.
Hello, guys. We're going to get to the weather report here in a moment, but both teams enter this game either banged up or dealing with some pre-draft attrition. We're going to start with Nebraska, where Luke Reimer will not be playing. The linebacker will not be playing tonight. Nick Henrich will be playing in his place after Reimer was hurt last week. As for the offensive line for Nebraska, they're going to be featuring 3 freshmen up front after Brendan Hymas, the left tackle, ended up leaving the program this week to begin his draft preparation. As for Rutgers, the key is to try to stay as healthy as possible. Last week against Maryland, many players went down with injuries, many of them coming back into the game. A lot of those players who did get banged up last week, they're playing tonight. We'll see how effectively. As for the weather tonight, it's 24 degrees right here as we get ready for kickoff, but the temperatures are expected to dip well into the teens. Guys, that's why I'm so bundled up myself.
Yeah, stay warm, Coley. And he's going to be a chilly one, no doubt. Brandon Gaunt, James Laurinaitis, Coley Harvey, and on hand with us from a much warmer climate in Los Angeles, Mike Pereira. Greg Schiano, a Jersey native, grew up in Wyckoff, New Jersey, went to Ramapo High School, and on the sideline back here, of course, for his second stint. And again, has Rutgers with their most wins combined in the last 4 years in the Big Ten. They won 3, and they've got 3 this year as well, looking for number 4. Returning it, Alante Brown. He'll call for the fair catch, and Nebraska will start at the 25-yard line. And of course, Adrian Martinez will lead the crew out. As James and I told you, he's been over 70% the last 3 weeks. Just 1 interception on 123 pass attempts this year, and James just 8 yards away from being the 4th ever to 7,000 career total yards of offense.
And that's quite the accomplishment, and he's electric on the ground. We know what he can do with his legs. He's tied for the team lead in rushing. You need to see some of those downfield throws with his arm to cap off this season for the Cornhuskers.
We're going to start with a quick out to Austin Allen. It's the tight end getting the first gain, and it'll be second down for Nebraska. Auto Owners Insurance impact players, James.
Yeah, Dedrick Mills at tailback needs to be a guy to step up in this rushing attack for the Cornhuskers. Wan'Dale Robinson on the outside is a guy who obviously is electric. They want to see him get the ball 15 times a game, and on defense, Mike Tverdoff, 3 sacks a week ago against Maryland, and Olakunle Fadukasi, the leading tackler and first-team All-Big Ten selection in the middle.
Second and 4 after the 6-yard reception right up the middle. There is Dedrick Mills on his 60th carry of the season. And there are those Auto Owners Insurance impact players. And as you said, Fadukasi, what a guy to watch. What a season he has had. And you mentioned it, the All-Big Ten player. First team he was voted by the media. First time that Rutgers has had that since they joined the Big Ten Conference. First down at 10, and it's Dedrick Mills again. Well, Mills has battled injury this year. He missed 3. He's been back the last couple. And when he is in there, it really helps out this offense.
Yeah, it does. And that's a good sign for the Cornhuskers early on. The interior of the defense for the Scarlet Knights is strong with Michael Dwumford, Julius Turner at D-tackle. Those two are productive. To get some gain like that on the ground on first down is a good sign for the Cornhuskers.
Nice 9-yard gain, and now second down and 1 underneath Wan'Dale Robinson. Robinson trying to get the edge, but a good tackle that time by Trey Avery, and that'll bring up third down. Now there is Turner Corcoran. He is the guy starting. Coley told you for Brendan Hymas, who opted out, says he's going to head to the next level of the NFL, but that's a true freshman at left tackle.
Yeah, true freshman, and would have been Hymas's 41st career start, so that's inexperience, and that's a loss for Nebraska. And you see there Wan'Dale Robinson getting thrown to the turf. Big third down early in this football game for Rutgers. You want to get off the field and stop any momentum that Nebraska has going.
It's been a struggle on third down this year. They've only converted on 1/3 of their third down opportunities. They need 3 yards here. It's a straight run. Well, they do convert easily. Adrian Martinez taking it into enemy territory.
Yeah, Rutgers brought pressure there. You'll see him blitz up the interior. Fadukasi and Fogg, they both get pinned inside. Martinez does a nice job falling around Piper around the corner. Nice job. Downhill run by Adrian Martinez, picking up the first down, and that's a big one. You mentioned 33% on the year. That's bad offense there on third down.
Second to last in the league, and this is kind of how Nebraska has done it when they've been successful this year. On the ground, they're second to last in the league in passing yards, and so far 24 of their 28 yards on this drive have been via the run, and that's a fumble. Martinez, though, picked it up. He's going to lose 2. Tyshawn Fogg right there to bring him down, but Nebraska just lucky to keep it.
And talking to Matt Lubick, the offensive coordinator, this is what he told us. He said, when we are clean on drives, we're very productive. This would go under one of those not clean drives there, Brandon. The fact that you have a botched exchange there, now you're behind the chains on something that if you just simply execute, you don't have to worry about. But those little mental errors on that time, it's a bad exchange.
Second down and 12, getting it over to Alante Brown. Alante Brown quickly wrapped up. That's a guy in Brown, the freshman, that they told us they want to get more plays this week. He's been exceptional in practice, but there he was wrapped up quickly by Fatukasi.
And these are the situations you want to avoid if you're Nebraska. The third and longs. Picking up third and short gives you the whole playbook. You have the quarterback runs. What do they decide to do? Who do they go to on a third and long situation?
Trying to run it up the middle. Martinez able to get free. Ooh, gets flipped upside down and lost the football. And Rutgers picks it up. A scary moment. Christian Izzian recovers it. The question, though, was Martinez down?
Fatukasi had a chance in the hole, and Martinez just makes a miss with a nice move. And as he jumps, lands on his head. That is a very scary moment there. You're absolutely right, Brandon. You hate to see that as Martinez goes up and over. That ball looked to be moving around, and Christian Izzian right there to pick it up for the Scarlet Knights.
Tyreek Maddox-Williams was the one to hit him, but it's tough to tell, and this might be one of those that's hard to overturn. When exactly Martinez lost the football. Just thankful that he popped up okay. This was such an awkward landing on the head and neck area. Yeah, I think it's coming free, don't you, James?
I do, and as you mentioned, on the field, it's ruled a fumble, so it's hard. Is there enough there to overturn it? I don't think there is.
Well, this is a good time to welcome in Mike Pereira. It looked on that last angle, Mike, like it got jarred free a little before he was down, right?
Yeah, Brandon, I agree. You know, to me, even when they looked at it from this side here, the helmet's going to be the first thing that would put him down. The hand doesn't put him down, and I think the helmet hits before the forearm actually hits. But I think the ball's actually coming out. So, again, the fact, like you said, they ruled it on the field as a fumble. So I don't think there's enough to overturn it.
Mike, out of curiosity, I know a forearm puts a player down. Well, wait, let's get the call here.
The ruling on the field of a fumble has been confirmed. First down, Rutgers.
So they confirm it. Mike, I just wanted to ask you, it would happen so rarely, but if his helmet hits down first, he is not down, right?
No, he is down. Helmet puts you down. So that's one thing that people don't think about. But the fact is, helmet down, hand is not, foot is not. But any other part of the body, and the helmet's considered part of the head, that puts you down.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. And the ball was free. Rutgers able to recover it, and so it is the first drive, and Art Sitkowski right away going for a shot downfield and completing it down around the 20-yard line to Bo Melton, the top target. How about that? A shot right out of the game.
I love the play call. Be aggressive. Bo Melton, look at him adjust. And anytime you're working one-on-one with the linebacker and JoJo Doman, I know he had a play like this a week ago where he broke it up against the Gophers, but that's a mismatch. You got to take a shot to your wide receiver on the linebacker every single time.
51 yards there on the connection. Melton coming off a big game last week in the win against Maryland. But there, JoJo Doman coming up and making a stop of Isaiah Pacheco. One more look at that long ball.
Yeah, he's right here in the slot, and Bo Melton just runs a straight seam. It's a go, and it's one-on-one. JoJo Doman has outside leverage. That's a nicely thrown football by Art Sitkowski, putting it out in front of Bo, letting him go out underneath and get that reception.
And if you weren't with us at the top of the broadcast, Art Sitkowski getting the start. Noah Vedral still out with the ankle injury from last week. And he's going right back here to Shameen Jones. Jones is wrapped up. That'll bring down up third down as we take a look at the Auto Owners Insurance Impact Players, James, on this side of the ball.
Yeah, you can't talk about this Rutgers offense without Isaiah Pacheco. He is the heartbeat. He sets the tone for them. Bo Melton, we already saw him. I mean, the production he's having this year compared to the last three is unbelievable. Cam Taylor-Britt should be matched up on Bo Melton. He's their best cover guy in the secondary. And JoJo Doman, very productive. 2 forced fumbles, 5.5 tackles for loss. Nice outside backer for the Cornhuskers.
On 3rd and 5, dumping it over the middle, and he throws it behind Shameen Jones. And now you're faced with a 4th down and 5, and we'll see if Greg Schiano wants to try the field goal, and it appears that he will.
Yeah, it seems like a miscommunication. He thought Shameen Jones was going to set it down right between the zone, the 2 backers. Instead, Jones went to continue his route, kind of do a stop and more, they call it a shake route, Brandon, where he stops, squares up, and then keeps going. Miscommunication between the 2. But a nice start to this game so far for Rutgers. You get the takeaway and hopefully convert it to 3 points.
35-yard attempt for Valentino Ambrosio, who hit a couple of big ones last week in the win against Maryland, including the one to send it to overtime. And he's money right there to start it out. So Nebraska with a turnover, and Rutgers turning it into 3 points. Empire State Building there on the right, all lit up for the holiday season. 3-0 Rutgers, and now Nebraska getting the football back, and it's Alante Brown who is going to be hit and dropped right around the 15. So a good special teams play by the Scarlet Knights, and Nebraska will start this drive backed up. And James, one thing that has really hampered this Nebraska team all year is turnovers. They are now -9 in the turnover category. That's tied for last in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and it just speaks to both of these teams, right? Nebraska has turned the football over, and what Rutgers has done all year is take the football away. So already in this game, it's kind of a microcosm of what both of these teams have been all season long.
Of course, Rutgers had the 7 turnovers to start the season when they played Michigan State. This drive going back to Dedrick Mills up the middle, and a good gain. So Dedrick Mills, a pretty good start for him, 3 carries, and he's over 20 yards.
Yeah, and if I'm Nebraska, I'm staying with that on first down. You're talking about that much yardage on first down to get you in 2nd and short, opens up the whole playbook.
This time they're going to throw it instead, and wide open over the middle, completing it to Jack Stoll. So we saw one of the tight ends, Austin Allen, now Jack Stoll, and they're trying to go in a hurry here. After the 24-yarder, now they return it to Mills, and Mills churning those legs. And the senior in what could be his last collegiate football game with another nice carry.
It's the downhill. I love this attack, and if you're Nebraska, you have to stay with it. You see Mills every single time, Dedrick, you watch him on tape. When I've watched him, he churns those legs so nicely and gets extra yards out. You're staying in 2nd and medium. Now you have everything available, and as you saw in the previous pass play, it was a play-action pass. You get those linebackers over-aggressive now if you're able to maintain that first down success.
2nd and 4, Martinez is going to take off, and he's going to be hard hit by Tyshawn Fogg. He was out last week. They didn't know if he was going to play, but that's a very important key to Rutgers' defense.
Yeah, he is. You talk about his experience. He leads the active roster. That was his 229th tackle now, and nice job sinking his hips, squares them up. You saw Martinez be able to make Fadukasi miss in the last drive. This time, Fogg gets him.
Moving those tight ends over, and now 3rd down and 2. They'll try it with Mills, but Rutgers was ready. Swarming him in the backfield, and now 4th down. Now Rutgers was signaling like the ball was loose, but it was not. It's Mike Tverdoff with that long hair coming in there for the stop.
Yeah, look at Julius Turner, 50. Boom, he's the guy that first disrupts it, and Tverdoff cleans him up. Nice penetration on the D-line. Julius Turner always working in the backfield, Brandon. We've had Rutgers a couple times, and when I watch tape, number 50 at that slanted nose position, always wreaking havoc.
Instead of going for it, Martinez will kick it, and this might turn out very well. Did he keep it out of the end zone? Downing it inside the 2-yard line. Adrian Martinez, not normally called into duty to punt the football, but he does it beautifully there. Wan'Dale Robinson saved it. And now Rutgers will have to go 99 yards if they want to find pay dirt. Johnny Langan will start this drive at quarterback for Rutgers as they are backed up inside their own 5. Langan, usually more the gadget guy. Maybe they're just trying to punch this thing out from the shadow of their own goalpost here. Yeah, he is going to run it. Boy, it was a little delayed run, but he will get a couple of yards. I don't know, James, was that miscommunication? You see Noah Vedral. He was the guy who was hoping to start because he began his career at Nebraska, grad transfer to Rutgers, and still has a lot of friends on the other side, but because of the injured ankle, unable to go tonight.
Yeah, and it was fun talking to Greg Schiano about the insight he gave them, not just X's and O's and what Adrian Martinez would be looking at within the scheme, but the personnel breakdown, actually talking about the character and the will of each and every Nebraska player.
Langan finds a hole and a big run. So Art Sitkowski started the game at quarterback, but Johnny Langan, as a flag comes flying here. Johnny Langan is the guy that is a tough QB at 225 pounds, and for the moment, he picks up the first down. Our referee tonight in the white hat, Reggie Smith. It looked like Johnny Langan was mouthing off a little bit. We'll see here.
The result of the play is a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Rutgers, number 50, his first, will be enforced half the distance to the goal from the dead ball spot. It's 1st and 10.
I believe he said 15, which would be Shameen Jones, but
well, I don't think you can see right there Langan kind of taunts looking over him. I tell you what, Brandon, this early in the game, and I understand the officials are probably trying to keep everything clean. The guy's pumped up. He just got driven into the sideline. A big run. Gotta let that one go.
So Art Sitkowski comes back in. That's a long throw to the far sideline over the head of Aaron Cruikshank. And it was corrected. The penalty was clearly on Johnny Langan, a now frustrated Johnny Langan who watches from the sideline. For Art Sitkowski, his 15th career start, 2nd of the season, and he gives it to Isaiah Pacheco, and Pacheco is wrapped up in the backfield. Will Honus leading the way, the linebacker, and now it's going to be 3rd and long for the Scarlet Knights. He led the comeback, as James told you, that 61-yard drive in the 4th quarter that set up the game-tying field goal, and then the Scarlet Knights would win it in the extra session. And here he's trying to take off, but he is dragged down by Garrett Nelson, the sophomore linebacker, and this drive is going to stall inside the 15-yard line for Rutgers.
Nice job by Nelson, getting off a block, making the tackle here, and Noah Vedral is a little more athletic than Art Sitkowski in the ability to run the football, but we did see this a week ago against Maryland. Art Sitkowski did run some of those quarterback draws, especially against that Maryland man coverage. Nice job by Nebraska being aware of it. They watched the tape too and getting off the field.
Adam Korsak, the senior punter from Australia. And he'll get this down inside the 45-yard line. First quarter action, 3-zip Rutgers. Snow, 8 inches falling Wednesday night into Thursday. But the field looks beautiful on a chilly evening. Temperatures plummeting through the 20s, supposed to bottom out in the teens as Martinez tries to take off. And fumbles the football again. Second time he's lost it here in the first quarter. They dig to the bottom of the pile, and Rutgers has it. Nebraska is now -10 in the turnover category this season.
Intercepted by the defense, first down.
Well, you're right. And how about Rutgers attacking the football all year long? Their 17th gained takeaway now, and looks like Christian Izzian again getting his hands on it. 2 recoveries on the day. Already this early in this football game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Christian Izzian, who had an interception each of the last 2 weeks, and now those 2 fumble recoveries here in the opening quarter. Quite an eventful stretch to end the season for the junior from Far Rockaway, New York.
It looks like it was Najee Jones who forced it, and he's been playing in place of Brendan White. He's been playing pretty well.
Maybe a yard there for Isaiah Pacheco. Second and 10, Sitkowski, and that pass incomplete in and out of the hands of Bo Melton. Good coverage there by Cam Taylor-Britt, who got ejected last week in the first half for targeting, but obviously able to return here in the first half tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned both of those guys were going to be impact players, and Cam Taylor-Britt is their best defensive player, I believe, on this Cornhuskers defense. And I'd love to see them matched up down there. Good on good. Bo Melton and Cam Taylor-Britt, they're at the bottom of your screen.
Taylor-Britt, Big Ten second team on the defensive side of the football. 3rd down and 10. Here comes some pressure. Sitkowski, low throw toward the sticks, but they're going to say incomplete. Trying again to find Bo Melton.
Yeah, those are always tough ones, Brandon, for the wide receiver going low like that. You have your hands trying to cradle it. Usually it hits off the receiver's chest and hits the ground as it did there, and Bo trying to tell his quarterback, just get it up a little bit. I'll make that play.
So Adam Korsak comes back out. The punter who Greg Schiano could not say enough nice things about. He absolutely loves this kid. Not only what he brings in the locker room, but also as a punter. He's been good all year and all 3 seasons as a starter.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So that'll back Rutgers up 5 yards. Now Korsak gets away the low line drive kick, and that is why Greg Schiano likes his punter. You cannot do it any better than that. They are going to miss that senior. He's used to the warm weather of Australia. Chilly here tonight, but not affecting him. Stream every Big Ten Network game with the Fox Sports app presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Download today on your smartphone, your tablet, and all connected devices. Yes, you need those space heaters on the sideline. 3-0 Rutgers. 3:26 remaining in the first quarter, and Nebraska starting inside the 5-yard line after the great Korsak punt. Adrian Martinez, quick hitter, Ramir Johnson. Johnson back home. He is from New Jersey, 45 minutes north of Rutgers. He went to Bergen Catholic, and a homecoming here for him.
You always got a little extra juice when you play your hometown school. I'm sure he's excited to be out there playing back home.
We've got flags here before the next snap. We also had Julius Turner get popped.
Ball start. Offense, number 57. Half the distance to the goal. First down. Second down.
Ethan Piper went, and Julius Turner wasn't ready, and he bowled right over him. Option play, Martinez, instead of giving it to Mills, he keeps, and he'll get it to the 9-yard line. We have another flag.
Holding. Offense number 54. Penalized half the distance to the goal. Repeat, second down.
See right there, it's Bryce Benhart, the freshman right tackle, working on Tverdov, and definitely gets him hooked. Tverdov does a nice job getting penetration, drawing that penalty, trying to detach from the block.
We mentioned Corcoran, Benhart, Piper, also a freshman, as this one is going nowhere. It's going to be 3rd down and long as Tyshawn Fogg got in there for the stop on Mills. And this Nebraska offensive line, it's not often anywhere you see 3 freshmen, especially at Nebraska up front.
No, you're absolutely right. And you can tell Greg Schiano's happy to have Tyshawn Fogg back in the game. Already a couple tackles early in this football game tonight. And when you get on offense this backed up, Brandon, you're always thinking, let's try to score on defense, whether it be a takeaway or getting a safety.
Just a safe underneath throw, and then Dedrick Mills trying to get it out toward the marker, but he's going to be stopped short by Fadakasi.
So again, Brandon, it's the penalty, right? Multiple penalties by Nebraska. They have not had clean drives. You have the fumble by Martinez, 2 fumbles by Martinez, and then you've had penalties.
Tyler Crawford, 2nd week as a starting punter, replacing William Pristum. And Avery Young on the return. Noah Vedral, again the Nebraska transfer. This is the 3rd quarter last week, James, when he injured that ankle.
Yeah, and a little extra twist on the ankle at the bottom of the pile. Questionable play against Maryland, and you knew when he left the game on crutches that it was going to be unlikely. Greg Schiano telling us how hard he tried to get back this week and just unable to go.
Wahoo, Nebraska native. Graduated from there with a 3.9 GPA before transferring. Had never even been to New Jersey before transferring because of the pandemic, and now unfortunately has to watch this one from the sideline as Aaron Young gets the call on a 1st down carry. But Noah Vedral, the last time we saw him, James, in a Nebraska uniform was actually when he was at the Big Ten men's basketball tournament, filling in on Fred Hoiberg's team. As another carry by Young will now bring up 3rd down. Fred Hoiberg, their basketball team was down to 8 players, I believe, and so Noah Vedral joined, played in the Big Ten tournament game against Indiana. That was March 11th before the pandemic shut everything down on the 12th. So who would have ever thought his last game as a Cornhusker would have been on the basketball floor, but it was. Sitkowski throwing complete to Shameen Jones inside the 30-yard line. 1st down.
See Sean Gleason, the offensive coordinator, trying to work with a little bit of pace, keep Nebraska off balance. Art Sitkowski's done a nice job, comfortable on that throw to Jones.
I don't know if they got that play off, but they let him go with it. And again, Shameen Jones. And that'll take us to the end of the first 15 minutes. The snow, the cold, the big play from Sitkowski to Melton. That set up the only points. 3-0 Rutgers. Let's take a look at the current Big Ten Conference standings presented by Discover. And don't forget to tune into the Big Ten Championship game presented by Discover tomorrow on Fox.
Brandon, how about the year? Tom Allen, Coach of the Year for the Hoosiers. 6-1. Got the Hawkeyes 6-2 in the West as well. And I'm excited. I'm glad that this game tomorrow is at noon. I love a good noon kick. Ohio State Northwestern, and how about 3 first-team all Big Ten selections for the Wildcats going against that Buckeye explosive offense. I'm excited to see that matchup in tomorrow's game.
Brandon Gaudin along with the former Ohio State Buckeye James Laurinaitis, Coley Harvey on the field, and Mike Pereira out in Los Angeles. We appreciate you spending your Friday night with us 1 week before Christmas, the finale for Rutgers and Nebraska. And you know, for Rutgers, James, you think about what Greg Schiano's been able to do in a strange first season back, but 3 wins after this team did not win any in conference play the last 2 years. Really, it's been a remarkable turnaround. Yeah, it has. It's been, there's a culture, you know, his whole keep chopping mantra, what they're all about, and the team just reflects that. It reflects him. It reflects what he wants out of his guys. And every time that I've done a Rutgers game, Brandon, we've been around him, you see him constantly coaching. He's constantly working on his guys, and it looks here like the officials are reviewing whether they got the playoff or not. Here comes Reggie Smith.
It's been determined that the snap at the end of the first quarter occurred after time had expired. Therefore, that play is null and void. It'll be first down and 10, Rutgers, from the 27-yard line to begin the second quarter.
You know, I don't think, I've seen a lot of things, James. I know you've seen more than me. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I don't think so either, and you can tell they're trying to get it off. Right there. Oh, man, that's tight.
Well, when we saw it from the naked eye, I thought that it had hit 000s as well. I was surprised that they let the play go, and now they back it up. So first and 10, and Johnny Langan will get the carry. Again, you'll continue to see Langan. They kind of switch him in and out. And it's, what, I don't know, how do you describe the way that they use Johnny Langan?
Oh, I mean, it's Wildcat, but it's just quarterback power. And it's a lot of stuff. They can do a lot of stuff more than just quarterback power. But this is where it gets interesting with Sean Gleason, the offensive coordinator. He does more than just line up a QB.
Both guys are in there, but this time Sitkowski is dragged down to the ground. Felt Darius Payne, the junior JUCO transfer, getting the sack.
Yeah, and he came through right through the A gap, which is between the center and the guard, up the middle. It's the top of your screen, and just runs a little stunt right there. He waits for the penetration to get upfield, and the Rutgers offensive line not able to pass that off. It's always tough to see that guy loop after he takes a couple steps upfield.
They didn't have any sacks last week in the loss against Minnesota, so that had to be a welcome sight. Now a solid form tackle by the safety, Deontay Williams. This defense, or Eric Shenander, trying to play with a little more juice here to finish out the season.
And I think they've responded well. I mean, to have that big play happen on the first play when they're on the field on defense, Brandon, and to have that kind of shock to what happened going deep to Bo Melton, they've been able to really gather themselves. They held to a field goal on that one, and even on this drive, holding Rutgers to 3, you're giving our offense a chance to settle down into the game, get some points in response.
Ambrosio hit from 35 earlier, and now from 42, he's money again. The junior's having a nice season. He didn't begin the year as a starter. He came in week 4 against Illinois and has taken that starting kicking spot ever since. He's got all 6 points for the Scarlet Knights. Fava to kick it away after Ambrosio made it 6-0. Fair catch. Let's check back in with Coley Harvey.
You know, guys, I was just looking at Nebraska's sideline just after the last offensive drive that the Huskers had, and Scott Frost brought the entire offense over. It wasn't by position group, it was the entire offense, and he was getting on his players. He said, look, we've got to stop fumbling. We're a much better team than what we're playing right now. Go out and show it on the next drive, and here we go. We're going to see what they have.
Thanks, Coley. Both of those fumbles from Martinez, actually 4 total fumbles. 3 by Martinez, 2 of them lost. Although Adrian Martinez is 6 for 6 passing for 44 yards. He's going to throw here. Protection not that great. And the ball goes flying out of bounds, so that is his first incompletion. He did, James, go over that 7,000 mark in the first quarter, but the 2 fumbles, so the 7,000 right now probably far in the back of his mind.
Yeah, and if I'm Nebraska, I'm thinking let's go back to running downhill. Dedrick Mills in those first few drives was getting 7-8 yards on the ground, getting second and shorts. We try to get too creative on the outside, you end up in these second and longs.
Martinez going to fake it to Mills. Set up shop, throw a fastball to the 40-yard line, and that one is hauled in by Levi Falk. So Allen, Stoll, and Falk, the tight ends, all have a reception.
Yeah, nice job by Adrian, too. Scanning the field. Seemed like Falk was his second or third option there. Nice job being patient with the football.
Underneath here, and this is Stoll. Stoll hurtling over the top for a little extra yardage and a first down.
Jack Stoll showing some athleticism, going up and over Avery Young. You know those corners are going to go low on big guys. Nice job watching the tape, scouting report, and showing some athleticism out there.
6'4", 260 flying through the air. It's a 4-yard gain. There's Dedrick Mills going back to him.
See, Brandon, that doesn't look like a ton, right? Just a simple give up the middle, 4 or 5 yards. But what it does for you, it allows, like, now you can throw the football around. If it's incomplete, oh well. You got Adrian Martinez at quarterback to pick up a 3rd and 6 if it's an incomplete pass. It's easier to manage versus being in those 2nd and longs and 3rd and longs. So I love the idea of going downhill early in the down for the Cornhuskers.
Wan'Dale Robinson now back there. It's Mills again, and Mills with a big hole. Foot race. Dedrick Mills tackled just down inside the 5-yard line.
And a week ago, Jake Funk had some success against this Rutgers defense, and you see a lot of movement up front. And Dedrick Mills just straight downhill. Keep doing that. If you are Nebraska, Matt Lubick, Scott Frost, keep going downhill until Rutgers shows that they can stop it, because they've had success. They've had 4, 7, 8. And now you have that big run by Mills. Keep after until the Scarlet Knights prove they can stop it.
42 yards, and now they pop it in front. And that'll bring up 2nd down as they give that one to Chris Hickman, the redshirt freshman receiver. So 2nd and goal for Scott Frost.
And this time trying to get a little too creative. Deception. I would have loved to see rewarding Dedrick Mills with just a downhill run. You got us down here. Give the senior an opportunity to get downhill, and if I'm Scott Frost, I'm giving it to my tailback.
Hickman in motion. That was technically his first career catch as a Husker. They opt to run it with Martinez, and that play goes nowhere. Christian Izzian up for the stop. And you also have Fatukasi down.
Officials or an injured defensive player.
Yeah, nice job by Fogg getting penetration, as well as Christian Izzian. It's hard to tell what happened to 03, as they call him. Fatukasi, who's down, and I know he was dinged up a week ago against the Terrapins. Ended up leaving that ball game as well. And talk about production. How about being a semifinalist, Brandon, for the Butkus Award? And you'll see on the right side of your screen here, he's going to come into the play, and it's hard to see. He just bumps into Mills there. And it seems like he aggravates something on his upper body, maybe a shoulder. It's hard to tell from up here, but his production this year coming into the game, 99 tackles, the next closest in the conference at 77. Now you could say some of that is the fact they played every single game, but whenever you're on a team that is not above 500 and you're up for a major award, that's something to really take notice of, because a lot of times major award winners come from winning teams that are on primetime games more often. But it's nice to see the Butkus Award noticing Olukunle Fatukasi and the job he's done.
Yeah, just hope the senior's okay. We'll take an injury timeout. Rutgers' top defender, the nation's leader in tackles per game, on the sideline right now. And it obviously would be just a gigantic loss. And this could be his final game in a Rutgers uniform, and what a career he has had. And as you noted, James, a Butkus Award semifinalist for the nation's top linebacker.
Yeah, and Greg Schiano loves him. Said he's one of the 2 or 3 smartest football players he's ever coached. That's saying a lot from an experienced head coach.
And now here is a run for Wan'Dale Robinson, but he's going to be stacked up just shy of the goal line, inside the 1. This Rutgers defense trying to bow up its neck here. 4th and goal. You'd have to imagine they're going to go for this.
Yeah, and Wan'Dale Robinson is very talented, but at only 5'10", 185, I'm not sure down on the goal line. That's why I want to go downhill. I would love to have Robinson come in motion, maybe do the jet sweep action, give it to Mills downhill, or some kind of roll pass to get Adrian Martinez out on the edge of the defense.
Their first timeout of the half.
Greg Schiano is going to be the one to take the timeout here, with 10-11 remaining in the second quarter. And they've had Nebraska 3 cracks so far from inside the 3-yard line. If you are on the other sideline and you're Scott Frost, James, what are you trying to turn to here?
Well, I'm trying to get Adrian Martinez out on the perimeter. So is it a play fake and you roll him out? You try to get him on the edge, because what that does to everybody in coverage, Brandon, if you don't have a contained guy that's on point, now you have a whole conflict of, do I stay in coverage? Because if I leave him in coverage and I rush up, now Martinez can just flick it into the end zone. Or if I stay back, he has the athleticism and the power to just run and dive in. I'm trying to find a way to get him out there on the perimeter.
4th and goal. It is Martinez on the perimeter. He flips it to Wan'Dale Robinson, and Robinson is in. And Robinson is also down. He took a pretty good pop from Avery Young after tying this game at 6.
Yeah, I think both Avery Young and Tyshawn Fogg came over. Tyshawn from the inside out there at linebacker, and we hope he's okay. See, nice job. Avery Young comes in. See Tyshawn Fogg come over and deliver the blow.
Yep. Wan'Dale Robinson, the talented sophomore, who has had, before that, 86 touches on the season, but no touchdowns. And then on his 87th touch of the year, he finally gets into the end zone, and unfortunately, still down on the turf. That's a guy, James, that Scott Frost was telling us a couple weeks ago. We try to get him 15 touches a ball game. That's the value of the sophomore.
Yeah, and offensive coordinator Matt Lubick was saying, hey, he can run any single running play. You've seen that. He's gone downhill. When I watch tape, they run powers with him. You see the option play at that time. Nice to see 03 up and walking around. I noticed he has that neck roll on this week. He has not played with that all season. And again, it's good. Wan'Dale holding his, looks like his side there. You wonder if he took a shot in the ribs. Seeing that's where the hand is. It's hard to play doctor when you're up here, and you never know, but showing toughness, getting up and walking off there. That's a big touchdown for Nebraska, though, because if Rutgers is able to hold 4 plays from the 2-yard line, that's a huge momentum swing. So if you're Scott Frost, you say, look, the first quarter was terrible for us. We turned it over a bunch. It was sloppy, but our defense held the field goals, and now you have an opportunity to take the lead.
And take the lead, they will, but a flag comes in. For the moment, they're up 7-6.
Holding. Kicking team number 83. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Try for point.
So now that'll make it a little more difficult for Connor Cole. Nebraska outgaining Rutgers 176-94 in the yardage category. looking to take their first lead. No problem. Right down the middle for the senior from Phoenix. Wan'Dale Robinson, he paid the price, but he got in his first touchdown of the season. Marathon scoring drive, 75 yards in 9 plays. Wan'Dale Robinson runs it in from a yard out. Nebraska 13 rushing touchdowns this season, but a Big Ten low, just 4 passing touchdowns on the year. I don't think Scott Frost cares right now as long as they end in the end zone and his team has the 7-6 advantage. Returnable from just inside the 20. Melton out across the 30 and stood up and finally taken to the ground. Here's the play with a plan presented by TIAA that set up that last touchdown.
Yeah, pay attention to Trey Avery. He's in man coverage on Wan'Dale Robinson in the backfield. When he swings out, he leaves the middle. There's nobody. The Red Sea parts. And talking to Greg Schiano, he said, when you prepare against Scott Frost, there is a reason for every motion, every fake. And this time, Wan'Dale Robinson going behind, parts the middle. Trey Avery has to go with him. Somebody on the D-line or a linebacker has to fill in to that interior gap. Scott Frost will continue to test your eyes. That is his plan. Every single snap, there will be a shift, there will be a motion, or sometimes it's after the snap, something to mess with your eyes.
Sitkowski hit as he releases it outside the Bo Melton, but Melton is dragged down well behind the line. There's Cam Taylor-Britt again, putting his thumbprints on this game.
What a play by Taylor-Britt. Gets off the block, sheds it. There's someone there. Boom, get off me. Taking on a tight end and Giovanni Haskins and making the play.
And this one down low. Isaiah Washington unable to bring it in. So now 3rd down and 14. But Cam Taylor-Britt, as you were noting earlier, Eric Shenander says he probably doesn't get enough credit because people don't throw his way. This time they throw away from him, but still can't complete it.
Yeah, and you sense the momentum, don't you, Brandon? The big score on 4th down. Now a chance to get a 3 and out if you're Nebraska. 3rd and long. Not the situation you want to be in if you're either of these football teams. See if Eric Shenander plays some soft zone, make him get out the field.
Rushing 4 and incomplete. Boy, Pacheco one he has 99 times out of 100. This time it bites him and they'll have to punt.
That's exactly what they do. They play zone. He does a nice job finding the opening. He just looks upfield. You can see his head turn right here. Boom. Looking to see if there's anyone there. He was so wide open, he thought maybe there's got to be somebody close to me. Instead, sounds simple, doesn't it? You tell kids when they're young, 2 hands on the football, keep your eye on it. Pacheco's going to be kicking himself over that one.
Yeah, that's the part of his game that he's really improved, and now they're going to run it. Adam Korsak with all kinds of space. 1st down to the 50. This kid does it all.
Greg Schiano loves special teams. On the call with him this week, he was talking about special teams and what kind of impact that Korsak has. And here, he just notices they have no contain. I'll take it. There's nobody out here. Doesn't matter if I run a 4-4 or a forever. I'll pick it up.
I like that. You know, Adam Korsak, he does that running style rugby punt, and maybe it lulls the defense to sleep because that's probably what they were expecting again. But it keeps the drive going. And I don't know that I've ever heard a coach speak as glowingly about a punter as Greg Schiano did about Adam Korsak.
Well, there's a couple coaches. I mean, Greg Schiano is one of them. Urban Meyer was one of them that takes special teams so seriously. He's in every meeting. He loves being hands-on in that part of the game. And you're right, he loves his punter. The play a week ago when he said, we just cut somebody loose in the interior on punt. To the side, he was rolling, and he got the punt off. He thought that was the play of the game. He loves that young man, doesn't he?
Yeah, he said, I don't know that any punter I've ever had at any level would have read that the way Korsak did. The last pass went to Christian Dremel. Now here on 3rd and 1, they're not going to get there. In fact, they might have gone in the wrong direction a half a yard. So decision time, and right now the offense is still out there, and they're going to switch it up. Sikowski off and Johnny Langan on. Langan keeps, and Langan's not going to get anywhere near there. Garrett Nelson coming away fired up. He makes the stop. Nebraska football.
What a job by Garrett Nelson. Tracking it down. He's in the bottom of your screen. He's going to be unblocked, and watch the hustle. Backside, just tracks Langan. He goes, I don't have, my responsibility isn't on this jet sweep over to my side. I got my eyes on Langan. You're going to try to go power away. And he runs it down. He uses that high motor he plays with. And talking to Eric Schnatter, he said, look, he just goes all out. Bleeds Nebraska, Cornhusker football, and they love his energy. And definitely has brought out a few plays tonight. The quarterback draw by Sikowski, and that time the big fourth down stop by Langan.
A high snap, and Ramir Johnson nowhere to go. You know, but going back to Garrett Nelson, he lost his 2 front teeth week 4 against Penn State when he took a tight end shoulder into his jaw, and that just kind of represents how tough of a player he is for this Nebraska defense. Second down and 10. And that pass complete. Austin Allen's second catch of the evening to the 41.
Well, Adrian Martinez has loved to find his tight end so far in this ball game. And they're high on Austin Allen. I remember talking to Scott a couple weeks ago. They love his potential, both him and Vokalek. Stoll showing up tonight.
Here comes pressure, incomplete. Mike Tverdoff was about to take down Adrian Martinez. He had to get rid of it.
Yeah, nice play by Julius Turner as well, Brandon. Great recognition on the screen. It's hard for those D linemen. You get upfield. Remember when I was young, 4th, 5th grade, my dad used to say, you're not that good. We're not just going to not block you and let you go. Recognize the screen. Julius Turner does the same thing there. Recognizes it, puts the brakes on, and tracks down Johnson.
But you were a 3-time All-American, so you were that good.
It's a 3-star in high school there.
You proved all of them wrong. Second down and 10. Pocket collapse, and Martinez, Tverdoff getting to him again. Nowhere to go. 3rd down.
See outside the pocket. Did it past the line of scrimmage?
Well, they're going to talk about it. Thinking about it, and here it comes.
Although the quarterback made it outside the pocket, he threw the pass that failed to make it back to the line of scrimmage. Therefore, intentional grounding. Offense, number 2. Lost him down at the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
Good recognition, James.
Well, that's the elements, right? Because you get outside the pocket, and then does the ball go past the line of scrimmage? Just outside the pocket, but Adrian was trying to tell the official, look, my arm got hit. I'm getting tackled. That's their go-to every single time. I think that their arm's getting hit, but...
now they've got to contend with a 3rd and 20. Martinez for Robinson. Robinson, a basket catch like Willie Mays inside the 15.
And those are the throws, Brandon. I was talking about in the open. He has to hit on downfield. He missed Wan'Dale a couple times last week. Beautiful throw over the 3rd-team All-Big Dead corner and Trey Avery. Just a wheel route, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Matt Lubick was telling us, the O coordinator, he can run every running play, and he can run every route in the route tree. That time being a very talented corner and Trey Avery on the wheel route. What a throw by Martinez. If he can hit on those consistently, there's another level to Adrian Martinez's game that he can go to.
What a great thing to have Robinson back out there, and obviously he looks pretty healthy. Flag comes flying in here. Martinez throws it away as Allen gets popped in the back of the end zone, but they're going to say that was uncatchable. There was a flag back around the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation. Offense, 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Those are the things that drive you nuts as a head football coach. You can deal with the physical problems, and you see Wan'Dale off the ball. Too many guys off the line of scrimmage. Too many people in the backfield there, Brandon. And what's frustrating is the physical penalties are one thing, but it's the mental, it's the pre-snap stuff that you go over in practice all week.
And now Dedrick Mills going nowhere. There were several Scarlet jerseys there. Julius Turner once more in on the party. Always seems like Turner is there, the undersized defensive tackle.
He is, and you mentioned it, undersized. He uses that natural leverage. The D coordinator, Rob Smith, said being a little shorter than a normal D tackle.
He's 265 pounds. Now going for the end zone. What an interception! Christian Isian with his 3rd interception in the last 3 weeks. Now, there is a flag on the field as well.
An eligible receiver downfield on the pass. Offense, number 69. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, interception, touchback.
Wow, James, what a catch by the junior, Christian Isian.
I don't know what Adrian Martinez was looking at here. He goes to force it into the end zone, but watch this interception. One-handed, yes, sir. I'll take that.
Excuse me, Odell Beckham Jr. Christian Isian just gave us a fantastic Big Ten standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance. He had an interception 3 weeks ago, an interception last week, and now an interception here on December 18th in the regular season finale, and that was the catch of the ball game. Rutgers faking the reverse. Melton keeps it, stays on his feet. Out across the 40 before he's finally tackled by Casey Rogers.
Yeah, Bo Melton last week with the 2 rushing touchdowns. Here it's going to be a reception because the ball goes forward.
Sitkowski, dangerous pass. And incomplete for Shameen Jones. Well, Rutgers will throw a lot at you, that's for sure. In fact, with Nebraska, I think, likened it to kind of like playing Purdue. You just never know what you're going to get.
You're right. Sean Gleason is so creative, and that time faking the reverse.
And a flag down is that one once again for Jones, but incomplete, and Jones comes up hopping.
Offside. Defense, number 49. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, 2nd down.
That's a guy in his junior season who has had by far the best year of his Rutgers career.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, receptions in every single game. You see up top, Feldarius Payne, a little antsy to get going. So the next step for Art Sitkowski is when you see that, right, you got to do the Aaron Rodgers. You got to let it go deep. Free play. Give your wide receiver Bo Melton a chance.
Instead, 2nd down and 5. Pressure coming, but still able to complete it. There's Melton again. What a weapon Bo Melton has turned out to be, the senior from Mays Landing, New Jersey.
Well, you're absolutely right. His production this season, Brandon, compared to the last few is just eye-opening how much more productive he's been for the Scarlet Knights and what Sean Gleason has gotten out of him.
Another guy with a lot of speed, Aaron Cruikshank, the Wisconsin transfer, who this week was named the Big Ten Return Specialist of the Year. Great kick returner, although we haven't seen him get the opportunity to do that yet tonight. On 2nd and 4, K'Ron Adams. And now bring up 3rd down. Adams again needs 2, and he's not going to get there. He got 1, but probably 4-down territory.
I would think so. And last time they went with the Johnny Langan package that got stuffed. Usually on these short yardage situations, if you're not going to go with Langan, I would like to go with Pacheco, your physical tailback.
Let's see. Without Langan out there, there's Pacheco next to Sitkowski. Watch the play clock. They're going to have to burn a timeout. Talk it over. Quick 30-second timeout. Right back to Piscataway. Stay tuned. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups halftime report. My call, Jay Lehman. Joshua Perry will be along from Chicago, just next door to James and I here. First half highlights and analysis, and talking about the Big Ten Championship tomorrow. Remember, Rutgers just got stopped on a 4th down a little bit ago, and now they're going to try again here. Up the middle, it is Pacheco. 1st down and more. How about a 1st down and a touchdown?
This is a flashback to last week if you're Cornhuskers fans. 4th down, Gophers hit you for a touchdown with Mohamed Ibrahim. This time 4th down and 1, and Isaiah Pacheco. Watch him, the legs churning. Runs physical to the end zone. You know he's pumped up. Making up for that drop on the last drive.
Yeah, a drop that would have kept the drive going. And now Rutgers will try to make this a 7-point lead. Oh, Nebraska was all out of sorts, and Rutgers takes advantage. Bo Melton, 14-7, Scarlet Knights. So a changing of the tide. Pacheco in from 33 yards away. Isaiah Pacheco, who Sean Gleason said has a Tasmanian devil-like approach. He ran like the Tasmanian devil on that 33-yard scamper, busting a couple of tackles to put Rutgers on top.
Watching film of Rutgers, Brennan, I just love the way he runs. You can almost sense his passion watching the tape, turning those legs. Very competitive. Right here, you're just trying to count numbers. That's it. Sitkowski knows Nebraska doesn't have enough guys. We got 2 blockers, they got 2 defenders. If you can do simple math, you can count the 3 out there, Brandon. You could make that throw.
Well, I can't, so I wouldn't, but they can, and they do. Bo Melton in. And both touchdowns in this game have come on 4th down.
See, up top, only 2. Down on the bottom, 3. Let's go up top. Boom. Throw it now. You go fast because you don't give them time to communicate.
Nebraska was trying to get into place, but it was a shuffle, and a shuffle that didn't work out defensively.
That's tough because unless you practice that, unless Rutgers has shown it earlier in the season in the breakdown, they spring that on you. That's really tough to get done on a quick snap like that.
There was a penalty after the play for unsportsmanlike conduct. That's why Rutgers is kicking, and they will squib it. Justin Davidovitz, by a mistake there, he probably should have let that thing roll through the end zone, don't you think, James?
Yeah, he should have. And that penalty was on the bench of Nebraska, and they were arguing that there was a hold out there on that 2-point conversion. They must have been arguing so aggressively that it drew a penalty, and you can see Coach Frost and his guys together, and it's important to try to get in the end zone here, get some points on the board. You got 3:14, all of your timeouts left, so you don't have to go too fast. You have plenty of time.
Both of the touchdowns on 4th down, and now Nebraska back down 7. You mentioned the penalties. They've had 7 of them here in the first half. And Martinez is dropped. Ireland Burke, first sack of the season for that young man, the sophomore.
Nice job. Shiano runs these games. See, Burke comes from the top of the screen. There he is. Sheds a block. So really what you have is those D linemen doing games. You do that a lot for the quarterback runs, and that time it works to success.
2nd and 14. Jack Stoll. And now to bring up 3rd down. That sack of Martinez, Rutgers 5 tackles for a loss. They had 13 last week, and keep in mind they lead the Big Ten in that category, as you noted earlier, James. See if they can get home here. Tverdoff was bringing the pressure, but they set it up for Mills, and Mills is able to get the first.
Nice play call. You let the clock wind all the way down if you're Nebraska, just in case you don't pick it up. Now you still have all your timeouts. You say, okay, let's get a little bit of a rhythm here and see if we can't get some points.
Taking off, Martinez, great run. I mean, with those timeouts, still 145. You can't be careless, but you're not really in any rush here, are you?
No, you're not. And again, when you get first downs, the clock will stop momentarily, so you have plenty of time. Your whole offense is available to you.
Dedrick Mills towards midfield. Christian is in there to stop it.
Second and 7 of the 49.
Brandon, I have not seen Olakunle Fadukasi on the field again for Rutgers since he went off the field with that injury.
Yeah, senior leader. 2nd and 7. There's another tackle for a loss.
And there's the other guy, Tyshawn Fogg, coming on the pressure on the blitz.
Nebraska.
Timeout taken. We'll be back. 1:05 remaining in the half. Stay tuned. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups halftime report. My call, Jay Lehman, Joshua Perry. First half highlights and analysis, and they'll talk about the Ohio State Northwestern tilt tomorrow. So you've already got Fadukasi out, James, and now Julius Turner, another senior stud, making his 31st start, needs help to get off the field.
Yeah, and he was dinged up coming in. He went off the field last week against Maryland. Brandon came back in, showing his toughness and his passion for the game. And I also haven't seen Michael Dwumfor out there at D tackle, the other experienced D tackle, number 99 for Rutgers. So that's 2 of their studs on the interior of that D line that for the moment, for this play on a 3rd and 12, are not out there.
Yeah. On the other side, Nebraska missing a couple of key linebackers, so both sides are short-handed tonight. 3rd down and 12 to Mills. Mills trying to fight, needed a few more yards and won't get there. So now what do you do?
Well, it looks like both teams are going to let this thing run into halftime. Well, Nebraska going a little bit more pace. It looked that way anyway. The clock rolling, no one using a timeout.
3rd and final. Timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Timeout with 28 seconds left. Now here's our Built for Success presented by Rocket Mortgage. Adrian Martinez, we mentioned he went over 7,000 total yards, only the 4th guy to do that at Nebraska. But in the rushing category last week, he went past his head coach, Scott Frost, and now 7th on the all-time list. A lot of good names up there. He's got 28 yards rushing here tonight.
Extremely talented young man, and obviously he's had his name is all over the record books already for Nebraska. And the only reason why he's probably not a little higher is a weird 2020 season, Brandon, with the starts, the stops, and all that.
It has certainly been one for the ages. Fair catch. Rutgers, by the way, took that last time out, so they have none remaining with just 23 seconds.
Yeah, and they went after it. That's why Greg Schiano took the timeout. He thought, you know what, let's go try to block this punt. Who knows what can happen, and I would expect them just to either kneel it or do a running play and get into halftime.
Winless the last couple of years in Big Ten play. Greg Schiano comes back and has a chance to get 4 Big Ten wins here this evening. Going to take the lead, barring something unforeseen, into the lockers. They do opt to run it. And that will wind down the final 15 seconds. But if you're Nebraska, 7 penalties, 4 fumbles, a couple of them lost, an interception, and you allowed 3 sacks.
You can say all that to your team at halftime, Brandon, and say, we're only down a touchdown. I mean, all that stuff that went wrong, and gentlemen, we're only down 7. So let's not overreact to anything, but we have got to clean it up if you're Scott Frost. And trust me, Greg Schiano will be saying the same thing to his guys. Don't be celebrating being up 7 at halftime.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups halftime report next from Chicago. Manhattan just across the Hudson River. We're over in Jersey, 14-7. Rutgers leading Nebraska at intermission. And back with you, Brandon Gaudin and James Laurinaitis. First half there for Nebraska. They kind of shot themselves in the foot, James, because they had 255 yards of offense, but only 7 points.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Brandon. And the penalties and the 3 turnovers that led to 14 points for Rutgers. And if you're a Nebraska fan, this is not where you want to be. You have the worst point differential in the second half of games in the Big Ten Conference at -67. So if you're a Cornhusker fan, you're thinking that has to change if we're going to come back in this one. But you got to clean up not only the turnovers, Brandon, but also the penalties.
Adrian Martinez responsible for 3 of those turnovers, fumbled twice and had an interception. He was 14 of 17 with completions to 8 different receivers.
And the fumbles are what jump out to me. The first half, the interception, obviously he forced it down there, and that's a hard one because it takes points off the board because he intercepted it to Izzy in the end zone. But Brandon, him running the football, that's what he's so effective at. And the fact that when you've turned it over twice and fumbled twice, that can get into your head as an athlete.
Let's check back in with Coley Harvey.
Yeah, guys, actually, speaking of the turnovers, that's what I spoke with both coaches about for Rutgers. Greg Schiano, obviously quite pleased with the work that his defense was able to do in terms of getting those turnovers, forcing them. But then I asked him, but you guys got to convert more off of them. And he said, yeah, no kidding. I also asked him about Okunle Fadukasi, and he said that he just did not know anything on his status. So we'll still see if the linebacker goes at all in the second half. As for Nebraska, when it comes to those turnovers, Scott Frost said, hey, my message to these guys at halftime is that we just have to hold on to the ball better. We've got to make better decisions in the red zone. That's something that he's been trying to preach all season, guys.
Okay, Coley, and it will be Rutgers football to start the second half. Connor Culp has it teed up. The short high kicks. Bo Melton getting the opportunity to return it, and he makes the most of it. Almost got to midfield. Rutgers, last week, it was much different. They had to come back after being shut out in the first half, got the overtime win. They're hoping for similar numbers here in the second half this week as Art Sikowski comes back out to lead them. Didn't see the beginning of the broadcast. Noah Vedral, who had been the starting quarterback, left with the injury last week. He tried to go, but ultimately the ankle too bothersome, so he is out tonight against his former team in Nebraska. Bo Melton getting the first target of the second half.
You have to wonder, Brandon, with the starting field position on the nice return there by Bo Melton, is this an area on the field where Sean Gleason takes a shot? He did on the first play of the game for Rutgers. Try one here.
Second down and 8. Well, Sitkowski had time, and then the pocket collapses. They're going to say that's a free ball. Pacheco jumps on it. So the ruling is a fumble as Caleb Tanner came shooting in there.
Yeah, Tanner runs a stunt, comes up the middle of the field, and you're right, even if he didn't throw the football, it definitely went backwards, so that's a lateral, which would make it a fumble.
And a heads-up play by Pacheco to jump on it. But now you've got a 3rd and 21 as Sitkowski will give way to Johnny Langan.
Greg Schiano, always coaching. There's not one play that happens in the game, Brandon, where he is not instructing somebody out there.
Langan is going to run this, but he's not going to get close to the marker. And Rutgers likely to punt after the tackle by Nick Henrich.
And that's got to be disappointing if you're Greg Schiano. You get the nice return by Bo Melton to near midfield. And then in the second play, because of that fumble, really, you had that almost a give-up waste play on 3rd down, and now you at least got some field position. You hope to pin them deep with your weapon, that punter. But you had a nice little momentum on that return and nothing out of it.
But it was Nebraska's 7th tackle for a loss that blew that drive up. Fair catch. And now Nebraska takes over. Rutgers, their 3 wins in Big Ten play. Michigan State, Purdue, and then Maryland last week, come from behind fashion in overtime. But all 3 of those wins have been on the road. They are 0-4 at home. And try to right that ship with a 14-7 lead as Nebraska starts on the ground with Dedrick Mills. In fact, Rutgers, they've lost 14 straight conference games at home. That's the longest FBS streak. This year, home games don't really help you as much without 50, 60,000 here to cheer you on. And another flag.
Ball start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Frustrating night continues with the mistakes for Scott Frost's crew as 5 of 6 non-scoring drives ended in Rutgers territory, and they're way back so far right now in their own territory.
Yeah, the 8th penalty and those pre-snap ones, Brandon, that will drive you nuts.
Mills again, this time on the edge to the 12. Martinez, first pass of the second half, short with Robinson. Robinson does the rest. First down, and the drive continues.
There you see Wan'Dale Robinson, a lot of pre-snap motion, going back in the backfield, ends up swinging back to the same side he motioned from. A lot of guesswork in there on the Rutgers defense, trying to figure out how to match that. It's such a weapon for this Cornhusker offense.
3 catches, 54 yards, had the rushing touchdown as well in the first half. This time Martinez will keep. Chucked out of bounds by Avery Young. 27th career start for the junior from Fresno, California. Had the AC joint in his right shoulder that has been an issue. He injured it against Purdue. Dinged up his hand last week, but that didn't keep him out. He's been able to play every snap tonight as he runs out of bounds after picking up the first. A little bit of a gimp there after that run of 11 yards.
Yeah, and you see there, he has been effective through the air tonight. Had the nice throw to Wan'Dale Robinson. Unfortunately, they ended up having the interception in the red zone, but the turnover is costly.
Toss to Mills. Strong running again for Dedrick Mills, who before that run had 12 carries for 83 yards, and he gets 13 more.
Yeah, Dedrick Mills does a nice job. Nice little toss play, gets downhill. Really a nice job blocking. He wasn't touched. I'll tell you, he was about 12 yards down the field, Brandon.
Dedrick Mills, who started his career at Georgia Tech, transferred to Garden City Community College in Kansas, and now in his second and final season in Nebraska. Another touch for Wan'Dale Robinson.
Well, already for Dedrick Mills, it's his most productive game of the season. Running the football, he missed a couple, and with his previous most impressive being against Purdue, and it's good to see him nearing 100 yards here tonight.
Again, those 3 that he missed with injury kind of threw the season off a little bit. Keeper, everybody bit, and Martinez is going to do the rest. Beautifully executed 41-yard touchdown run for Adrian Martinez. It's a BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Yeah, well, somebody's accounting for Martinez, and what a nice job there at the end, making the move. As you see, he outruns Tyshawn Fogg and able to put some moves on Najee Jones. Just not running out of bounds. He was thinking touchdown the entire time. And Martinez able with the explosive run.
Culp ties it. Longest run of the season for the junior quarterback. Nebraska already has 350 yards of offense. The top 15 presented by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. Tomorrow it'll be Ohio State, ranked number 4, and Northwestern, number 14. For all the marbles in the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis. We are tied at 14 as James, we look at that last play after the kickoff that tied it. Adrian Martinez going 41 yards to help even the score. But first, a return for Cruikshank. And Aaron Cruikshank, could he do it again? He already has 3 of these in his career. Make it 4. And that is how you become the Big Ten Return Specialist of the Year, folks.
Brandon, they knew about him coming in, did they not? From the time at Wisconsin, Cruikshank took one back against Nebraska. Eric Shenander mentioning that to us, saying that he is so explosive and that he's a weapon. And you see why he is the return specialist of the year. If you don't make him stop his feet, he is gone. He outruns the angles of everybody on the backside of Nebraska. Nods his head at the goal line, finishing the sprint, run through the tape. Well done.
And then he chucked the deuces at the end and said, peace. Extra point is up and good. Well, you mentioned it, but he had 2 kick returns at Wisconsin for touchdowns, and this is the one you referenced against Nebraska, James.
You're right, and he's done it everywhere. And you see, if you don't stop a great returner's penetration north and south, the kicker is just get out of my way. That time, even the stutter step, you just see the pure speed that he possesses.
And then he would go on to return a 95-yard kick for a touchdown in the Rose Bowl against Oregon, a 100-yarder earlier this year against Purdue in a Rutgers uniform, and now another one here of 98 yards. Well, if you can do this, James, they might be able to find a spot for you on Sundays.
Oh, they certainly will. He'll get an opportunity. There's no doubt about that. And it's just impressive because you know the guys on the other side have an angle. Once they see him getting momentum, it doesn't matter with his speed.
Connor Culp, also winning kicker of the year on the other side. So good special teams for both of those guys in both of these programs. Celebration for Cruikshank. Scott Frost in Nebraska, though, James, 350 yards of offense. Rutgers has 192, and you look up and you're down 7 with 8:53 left in the third.
Yeah, and so it's the takeaways by the Rutgers defense that has led to those points, and then special teams. You also forget that on special teams, the fake punt that Rutgers had earlier in this ball game, getting out, giving them a boost, extending a drive. You feel like it's the same kind of momentum play by Cruikshank here tonight that he did against Purdue. And he gave them a spark in the second half.
Dedrick Mills out of the backfield. He's over 100 total yards from scrimmage. Let's welcome back in Coley Harvey.
You know, guys, James and I actually were working the game last week at Maryland that Rutgers was playing, and at one point during the game, Cruikshank got stepped on by a teammate as they were celebrating another play on the sideline, and he was actually out for a few plays because of a foot injury. He came back in later in the game, and clearly his foot is not bothering him tonight.
Yeah, good stuff, Coley. I would say that he's healed quite nicely. Dedrick Mills picks up the first down, but man, it is fun to watch him return kicks. Nobody has been able to track him. You saw it, over 670 return yards this year in the kickoff game. Intercepted, bad pass. Christian Isian again. His second pick of the game, his fourth in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and Adrian Martinez just misses him. He has Wan'Dale Robinson. We mentioned the inaccurate throws. And this one off the play fake, he just pops up and overthrows him. Isian, the first interception was outstanding. This one just a gift. I'll take it. Now Rutgers is going to get the football back. There was no one that was in front of Wan'Dale Robinson that time, Brandon, to where he needed to put any air on that football. As you said, it's just a bad throw high, and Rutgers taking over in Nebraska territory.
All 4 turnovers from Martinez, the 2 fumbles and the 2 interceptions. Johnny Langan out there. This time he's going to pass it. It's rare that he does this. Flag comes in, but a nice pass from Langan, finding Kayron Adams. Only his 12th passing attempt of the season.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
And Johnny Langan, I am sad to report that will not count for you, young man.
Yeah, it's on Raekwon O'Neal. He's working on Ben Stilley on the inside. You see Stilley starting to get by him, gets his hips around, and Raekwon just leans and tugs that arm, making it an easy throw. The flag for the official.
And now Langan will keep. And no sir, says Will Honus. Even a bigger role for him with Luke Reimer out due to injury. Nice play from the senior.
You're absolutely right. Not only Luke Reimer out, but also Colin Miller, who had to announce that he would not be playing football anymore, but talking about his leadership, how he's still been around, and the Nebraska staff saying there's a spot for him if he wants to become a coach.
Up the middle across the 50. Good run here on 2nd and 21 by Langan. Makes it 3rd and much more manageable. But yeah, you know, you mentioned Colin Miller, the senior, and the second opinion, as you said, they say, hey, you need to hang up your cleats for medical reasons after that spinal concussion on November 21st. And we wish him the best of luck in his recovery, and hopefully he will have a coaching career in his future. Kayron Adams brought down by Cam Taylor-Britt, who is right there on the spot.
Well, a nice job. They try to think that maybe Nebraska would be in some kind of man coverage. Instead, they're in zone, and Cam Taylor-Britt is just waiting for it out in the flat there, Brandon. Nice response by Nebraska's defense. Anytime that you have a turnover, we used to call it watch this defense, meaning watch us get the momentum back by getting a 3 and out. Nebraska does just that for their offense.
Korsak had a great punt earlier that checked up at the 3, and he does it again. Rutgers special teams is showing up tonight. The senior, if this is his final game, it's been a dandy. You can't do it much better than this. Rutgers with a 7-point lead, 5:52 remaining. They had the interception, couldn't take advantage. Great punt by Korsak. 3 of 4 punts pinning Nebraska inside the 20. All 3 at or inside the 11-yard line, and this one down inside the 5. Dedrick Mills trying to get a little more space, gets it out to the 7. And that run, Dedrick Mills now at 103 on the evening.
6 for me.
Second 6. Martinez has to shovel it out there to Robinson. Well done. And a first down.
What a wise athletic play by Adrian Martinez. Rolling to your left, getting away from Turner. And right before he's get a face full there, Taiwan Mason. A little shove by Deion Jennings just to make sure he has enough momentum to go out of bounds.
Less than 5 minutes left in the third. It's Mills again, 16th carry of the night. More on that Dedrick Mills story, James. Now, he almost quit football 4 months into his JUCO college career in 2017 after transferring from Georgia Tech. But his family really pushed him, said, "You're too talented, stick with it. Hang in there." He did. He finished at Garden City Community College, came to Nebraska last year, had almost 750 yards, and having, as you said, the best game he's had all year tonight. And Rutgers has an injured player here with 4:36 left in the third. We'll step aside for the injury. Tomorrow, Dave Revson, Howard Griffith, Jerry DiNardo, Joshua Perry getting you ready for Championship Saturday. Big Ten Tailgate presented by TIAA. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Tyshawn Fogg was the injured player for Rutgers. He did walk off under his own power, getting treated on the sideline. A design run. Martinez adding to his big night. And Nebraska just went over 200 yards rushing for the 4th time this season.
There's a lot to account for on quarterback runs. You get the extra blocker. And that time, Trey Avery had good leverage, just needs to stay outside even more. He got too stuck on that block. Needs to be able to react a little faster in order to get Martinez down. That Nebraska ground offense, impressive.
And it continues to be impressive. Dedrick Mills right up the gut. Another nice gain before he stopped by Najee Jones.
And really, you felt, Brandon, from the first quarter on, if they stuck with this ground game, they're getting over 6 yards a carry. It's the downhill stuff. This is what will open up. Now, when it opens up, you got to be able to hit it. Martinez was a little high in the last one, but it opens up stuff over the middle. The linebackers having to get aggressive.
And Martinez is going to add to those rushing totals. I mean, there is nobody there as he just roams free all the way down inside the 35.
Well, you're absolutely right. He tried to take a shot, wisely gets away from the blitzing backer. It looked like Rashawn Battle on the outside, and then there's nobody in the middle of the defense for Rutgers. Everyone's out in coverage. The receivers do a nice job of flipping from route running into blockers. Martinez over 100.
He came into tonight, and now another fumble. But luckily, Mills is able to jump on this one. But another miscue. I was going to say Martinez came in with 364 yards rushing and now having a big game, but the turnovers and the inability to secure the ball continues to be the story.
When Nebraska has a clean drive, they are effective. You see here, this is the area of the field. Rutgers, everyone's back's turned. They're in man coverage with the free safety out there being the angel. There's nobody there. Martinez takes advantage, gets what he can, which is a chunk, gets out of bounds.
This time to the air. Pitch and catch. Alante Brown. There's that freshman. Only one catch on the season. They said they wanted to target him more. That's his second tonight.
And a nice throw by Martinez. Nice touch on it. Accurate. When you're running the football as effectively as you are, those guys are wide open. Nice job by Martinez getting it there.
Martinez keeps to Verdoff. What a season he's having. The senior by far his best year from Union, New Jersey, and making another nice play.
Well, you're absolutely right. 3 sacks a week ago. 8 tackles for loss coming in. Does a nice job, squeezes down, and takes away the angle from Adrian Martinez to get around the corner. But you're absolutely right, Brandon. When I watch the tape, Verdoff has been active in every single game for the Scarlet Knights.
His brother Pete was a standout D lineman under Schiano the first time he was here at Rutgers. Another good play. This time it's Deion Jennings making the stop. You're in a tough spot. How do you view this 3rd down and 13? Do you try to get it close and go for it on 4th if you can't convert here?
Yeah, I think so. It depends on how much you can get on this 3rd down. But if you get it within, gosh, 4th and 3, you think you got to be aggressive. You worked all the way down here. Rutgers defense is tired. See how much of it they can get back.
Of course, the first down markers at the 1, and they're not only going to get the first down. Number 1, Wan'Dale Robinson is going to get his 2nd touchdown of the game. Remember, James, Robinson came in with 84 touches and no touchdowns on the season, and now he's got 2 tonight.
Well, when you need a play, you got to go to your playmakers. You saw it down there on the last touchdown that he had, and this time on a 3rd and long, Martinez looked that way the entire time. He knew he was going to number 1, Robinson, and he delivered a strike.
Nebraska all tied up with Rutgers again at 21. We've got a good one in Jersey. After this last completion of the touchdown, Nebraska now 460 yards. Happy holidays, one and all. I think we're close enough to say that. Folks, we are very close to the end of 2020, so if nothing else, we can ring a bell to that. But thankful that we've been able to have football this season, even with all the hiccups. It's been a joy to bring these games to each and every one of you. 21-21 with 40 seconds left in the 3rd as Bo Melton returns it out near the 40-yard line. That offense, though, James, they've been humming. I said it, 460 yards tonight for Nebraska.
Yeah, we mentioned the point differential struggles for Nebraska in the second half. Now having 14 points here tonight so far in this 3rd quarter. They've also struggled in 4th quarters. We'll see if they can kind of flip that here in this ball game. And Nebraska's been rolling a lot of it on the ground.
Sitkowski, bad pass wide of Christian Dremel. 2nd down and 10. Sitkowski 10 of 17, 122 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions for the native of Old Bridge, New Jersey, playing for the coach from Wyckoff, New Jersey. From Melton. The 2 rushing touchdowns last week against Maryland, and he'll get 9 yards here, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and a nice effort there at the end. You see him kind of extend out as he's going down. Makes that a 3rd and 1 instead of being a 3rd and 4. Bo Melton showing his versatility, as you mentioned, Brandon, a week ago, running the football, and Art Sitkowski will let this one go to the 4th quarter. We got a tie ball game and a good ball game.
Very good ball game. Offense has started out slow, but they've heated up, especially Nebraska. And, oh, yeah, the special teams has been pretty good. 21 all with 15 to play. Turned out to be a great ball game as we start the 4th, all knotted up. Isaiah Pacheco pushing that pile with the help of the big uglies up front. Limited action for Pacheco, but on his 6 carries, he's been productive, up over 40 yards, and he gets the call there to take it inside the 40.
Officials timeout for an injured defensive play.
And Nebraska has Garrett Nelson down. Garrett Nelson, the guy we were talking about, James, he's so tough, missing those 2 front teeth from the Penn State game. And Eric Shenander told us if his heart was in all of our guys' bodies, we'd be really good this year.
Yeah, he did. And he just goes. You see him there. It's interesting what happened, where it happened, but.
He's flexing his wrist as he walks off the field. Wrestling state champion as a junior at Scottsbluffs High School. Left early for Nebraska, so he didn't wrestle as a senior, but he probably would have won another one. His dad, Chris, was a 2-time All-American wrestler at Nebraska. So he's a legacy, a tough kid, and he'll try to get back on the field. Underneath, and timing that up well was JoJo Doman. He got right to Crookshank as he tried to catch it.
Yeah, Brandon, I think it's a good thing that Crookshank didn't catch this, because he would have taken a shot. Takes a shot anyway, but that would have been a negative play for the Scarlet Knights.
3rd and 7, some pressure coming, lofting it up, incomplete. And no flags on the coverage by DiCaprio Boodle.
Officials timeout.
You see here, Boodle, I think does a nice job. Doesn't grab his waist at all. His arms are out. And usually when the wide receiver doesn't complain too much, you don't see Isaiah Washington complaining after looking for a flag. That ball was just very underthrown.
And you've got Brendan Bordner down. He got dinged up last week against Maryland after recovering his 3rd fumble of the game, and now he's shaken up again.
Yeah, not very often you see an old lineman with 3 carries on the day. You see him, he takes a bull rush right there, and you mentioned he got dinged up. He got hit really hard on that 3rd fumble recovery, and that time takes a hit from Will Honus, coming with a full head of steam downhill.
Senior from Columbus. Ohio State offered him to walk on, but he wanted a scholarship, and the scholarship was for the Scarlet Knights. So many of these guys seniors, James, but it's going to be interesting to track what happens next year because of the free year of eligibility that the NCAA has granted.
Yeah, it's nice that they have that option, but it's also a lot of conversation these coaches have to have as well. What guys do you want to come back? What numbers will your team look like, your roster? What schools can afford? All the extra scholarships as well. A whole lot of unknowns in this crazy 2020.
Well, Sikowski and Pacheco upset. Pacheco wanted him to snap that ball and throw it. And now some switch-ups on the left side. And the play clock winding all the way down.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, you're right. That was an odd exchange between Pacheco and Sikowski. However, when you take the delay a game like that, you think they were trying to draw him outside. So maybe it was just a great acting job.
James,
by Pacheco there.
I was going to say the same thing. If that was acting, that was a fantastic job by Pacheco.
Fool me.
Gives a little more space for Korsak. All right, he's been so good at this. Well, come on, Korsak. You've been pinning him down inside the 5. You can't get it any closer than that. Another good one. They'll have to settle for the 8-yard line. Tums-worthy Moments game summary presented by Tums and some of the Nebraska miscues.
Yeah, Nebraska miscues and opportunistic defense by Rutgers. Couple of fumbles in there. Couple interceptions, both by Christian Izien. The first one was outstanding, the one-handed one. Channeling his inner, as you said, OBJ.
And now, for the 4th time, Nebraska will start at or inside the 11 after another good Korsak punt. But to finish the thought on the takeaways, the most since 2012, that was right after Greg Schiano took off to become the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach. Second down and 4, and now a first down and more. Dedrick Mills, big night continues. Down to the 35-yard line. Dedrick Mills up over 150 yards rushing now.
Well, you're absolutely right. He does a nice job and a great block out on the outside by Vokalek, the former Scarlet Knight himself. And you see there Dedrick Mills. There was nobody there once he got through the second level in the Rutgers defense to account for him.
50-yard run, 170 on the evening. And now Wan'Dale Robinson. But for Mills, after the 3 games out with injury, against Purdue and Minnesota total, he had 110, which isn't bad, but he's totally, tonight, taken over this ball game at times.
Yeah, when we were talking with offensive coordinator Matt Lubick, what was he telling us, man? He was saying there's some big runs to be had against this Rutgers defense. They let up a ton on the ground against Maryland. They knew the holes would be there. They just had to stick with it, and they have tonight.
First down, completed to Travis Vokalek. And Vokalek, who started his career at Rutgers, spent 2 seasons here in 2017-18, and his first catch back in his home.
Well, when you run the football as effectively as they had tonight, those plays will be there all evening.
And you mentioned Scott Frost and Matt Lubick saying, we're right there, we're so close. So many coaches often say that, but you really got the sense that they're not worried about the record. I mean, sure, they wanted to win more games, but they feel like they are where they want to be in this program's progression.
Yeah, and Scott has such a long-term vision for what he wants Nebraska to look like and be like, and he's had the success at UCF. He obviously had success at Oregon. And he has an idea, he has a vision. It's just getting his guys to that point and getting more confidence in his young players and eliminating these turnovers.
Martinez following Mills down inside the 2.
Well, really a nice job by Izien coming in and saving a touchdown. See Mills being the lead blocker, being physical at the point of attack. So Brandon, they have to win these tight ball games. They have so many losses. I believe they're second in the FBS in losses by 1 possession.
And that's not going to help them. They've had trouble when they've gotten it on the doorstep. And Elam Lamore, first time we've called his name tonight, makes the stop.
They've tried this quarterback power a couple times, and you're right, it's just not there for them down low. You saw last time they were really down low here, Brandon, they did that speed option, got the ball out to Wan'Dale Robinson. I think when you have an athlete like Adrian Martinez, how can you get him out on the perimeter? They already are aware for the quarterback downhill stuff, but how do you get your guy out there and get one of those edge players for Rutgers in a run-pass conflict?
Last time they got to the outside, this is what they did, like you said, with Robinson there. And Robinson making him miss, but he's going to be stopped just short. Boy, he shook Izzy right out of his cleats, but he's brought down inside the 1.
Yeah, he sure did, but how about the tackle by Fogg? Fogg pursues, doesn't give up on the play, gets lower than Robinson, chops those legs out from under him to stop his momentum.
So you still like getting Martinez outside?
I do, but when you bring in the more powerful back, it looks like Dedrick Mills might get it downhill.
Well, Martinez was Mills pushing him from behind.
Give him the assist.
Dedrick Mills at 220 pounds, chucking Martinez in for the score.
Give him the assist. We know the classic play, the Bush push. This isn't quite that. Martinez gets stood up by Fogg. Mills goes and helps get his momentum back.
Yeah, he deserves an assist for that.
You know you can't split touchdown runs, but they sure should figure out a way to split that one.
I feel like Dedrick Mills has earned one with his 170 yards on the ground, but he hasn't scored. But give him the assist. Martinez putting Nebraska in front. Well, the struggles that Nebraska's had in the second half are not here tonight. You see what the numbers were entering this game. Then look down at the bottom. 21 points, 297 yards in the second half for Nebraska. Rutgers just has 28 yards in the second half.
We mentioned how many times that they've been on the unfortunate side, Brandon, of these tight 1-possession games. 12 losses over the last 3 years by 1 possession. They only trail North Carolina in the FBS. Scott Frost hoping his guys can hold on to this one.
Bone belt around the 25. Coley?
Yeah, you know, I was just looking at Adrian Martinez and Dedrick Mills after that touchdown, and Mills was excitedly telling Martinez, hey, by the way, I pushed you in the back there to get you in. And Martinez said, yeah, I looked up at the scoreboard and I saw it. A couple of quick injury updates for Nebraska as they come back on the field on defense. Garrett Nelson, who left on the last drive, he has his right wrist. They just wrapped a wrap around his right wrist. And also Ben Stilley, his right elbow, has a new brace on it as well. So just two injuries to watch out for, but it looks like both will be back in.
Coley, thank you very much. For Adrian Martinez, by the way, second career game with 100 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. First time he did it was his first career game as a freshman against Colorado. Now Johnny Langan in for Sitkowski, and he's going to take off and get the first down. Martinez making sure he stays as warm as he can over there. 23 degrees right now here in Jersey.
On that one scramble he had in the third quarter, he took a helmet to the thigh. You wonder if he got a deep thigh contusion there as they keep working on stretching that quad out.
Aaron Young, that'll bring up second down at 3.
I tell you what, those are painful. You get one of those Charlie horses right in the quad, and as the game goes on and it's cold in Piscataway, that thing can tighten up on you, and we noticed a little bit of a gimp. He's battling through it, trying to stay loose.
And taking off and getting the first down, Johnny Langan never shy for contact. You know, with the cold weather, James, you played 8 years in the NFL. What was the coldest game you ever played in?
To be honest, I wasn't even in the NFL. We played Michigan my senior year. It was freezing in Ohio for that one. That's the coldest one that I can remember. There's been some chilly ones, but unfortunately I never got a snow bowl, which is what I always hope for.
K-Ron Adams. I figured maybe in Green Bay you might have had one of those frozen tundra classes.
We went to Green Bay in October. Wasn't quite down there yet. Played at Minnesota when they were playing in the Gopher Stadium at TCF, but it wasn't late enough. I did not get that Seattle Seahawks Minnesota Vikings treatment. Or the Tom Coughlin Giants Packers with the rosy red cheeks.
Adams again, he's getting some action here in the second half. That'll bring up third down. You saw the snow inside SHI Stadium. They had 8 inches between Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Great job by the crew here to get the field completely cleared off by morning. Langen throwing off his back foot, just heaving it downfield, and Cam Taylor-Britt rises to intercept it. Johnny Langen had only thrown 11 passes coming into tonight, and now his first interception. An inopportune time to throw that first pick, and a nice job by Taylor-Britt to climb the ladder. And the grounds crew was there, hard working yesterday, getting everything cleared off. No snow today, but chilly temperatures, and Dedrick Mills having the afternoon of his life. A flag, unfortunately for him, has come in. If it is against Rutgers, which it likely isn't, that will put him over 200 yards.
Yeah, you can kind of see the holding call down the field there. That would be my prediction.
And Avery Young, another player down. We've seen that so much tonight.
Holding. Offense. Number 88. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
So cancel out the long run by Mills on the hold by Falk.
Yeah, he's working right there on Christian Izzian as Christian tries to throw, gets hooked. We'll toss that one every time.
And now the concern for Avery Young, whose younger brother Aaron on the offensive side of the football is a running back, junior from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, is down here. These weather conditions, they tend to lend themselves to some more injuries. I don't know if it's guys not being as loose because of the cold temperatures, what the situation is, but we've had, I think now by my count, 6 or 7 guys that have had to be helped off the field.
And one thing we always had to try to be aware of too, Brandon, and that definitely is one of the things, but also your fluids. How much are you hydrating? It's easy to hydrate a lot, right? When it's hot, drink a ton of water when you're sweating a bunch, but our trainers during my time playing both in college and in the NFL used to stress that so much more in cold weather games because you don't have a tendency to be as thirsty because you're not sweating as much with it being freezing. So you don't know. And I'll tell you what, though, when it's this cold, there's nothing worse. Everything hurts. I promise you, you get a toe stepped on like Crookshank did last week. You hit your fingers on a face mask. That heater on the sideline, that heat doesn't stay on your body very long once you hit that field.
By the way, referee Reggie Smith did not say it was first down, but it is first down. First down at 9. Bad snap. Good job by Martinez just to take it and then hand it to Robinson and get a little something out of that.
Really, look at the save. Snaps have been an issue for Nebraska this season. The athleticism to reach to his way right and get that ball in the belly of Robinson. That will not go unnoticed by his head coach in film.
Yeah, Cam Jurgens, the center, he was actually pulled in the Iowa game in the second quarter due to snap issues. Straight run here, first down for Martinez. But all in all, since that Iowa game, give center Cam Jurgens some credit. He had been dealing with turf toe on the right foot, and Frost said he's good, we got him worked out, and he has been much better since that game.
See this pace wisely slowing down for Nebraska, trying to milk off as much clock as possible.
Dedrick Mills adding to Nebraska's rushing totals. They now have 348 rushing yards, the 5th most that they've ever had in a Big Ten conference game. Timeout on the field with 5:51 remaining in a 1-score game in the 4th as Mayan Ahanatu, the junior Minnesota transfer from Tampa, Florida, another injured party.
Yeah, Mayan's filling in for Michael Dwumfor, who has not played tonight, was banged up in and out of the Maryland game a week ago.
Here's the Papa John's pickup and delivery from the first half, James.
Yeah, Martinez delivers a beautiful dime to Wan'Dale Robinson. Wish I could get a large pepperoni delivered to me like that right about now.
Coley Harvey's the one that's earned the large pepperoni delivered to him down on the sideline.
Absolutely right.
Man.
Nice little crow hop and a frisbee disc toss of that pizza to Coley.
Hey guys, give me some hot chocolate. Give me some tea, hot chocolate, anything warm. Forget the pizza. Although I might get a slice after this.
Yeah. Hey, if you want to leave the pizza to us, we'll take it. I just feel bad that you're in the elements and we're in the comfortable studio in Chicago.
But, you know, being in Jersey and being so close to New York City, I love a good classic cheese slice, so I think that's what I'm going to do after this game.
Good man. 2nd down and 6 after Ahanatu is helped off. Wan'Dale Robinson trying to get the edge. Shoved out short. 3rd down. Well, obviously a big play here. Nebraska trying to milk as much clock as they can.
Yeah, and 3rd and short. So you think Schiano has to go man coverage here on defense. You have to be able to get up on those wide receivers if Nebraska tries to do any kind of throwing of the football. But you figure with Dedrick Mills, the way they've been running the ball, 7 yards per carry as a team tonight. Either give it to 26 or use 26 as a lead blocker for Martinez. Tell your O-line, we need 2, got to have it.
And here comes pressure that opens it up. Mills bobbled it, hauled it in, and gets the 1st down. And the big night continues for number 26, the senior from Waycross, Georgia.
Dedrick Mills has had himself a night. Whether there's toss plays, whether there's downhill powers, inside, outside, Dedrick Mills has been running all through the Scarlet Knights. It's good to see him have his most productive night on what could be his last night wearing that Nebraska uniform.
Our referee,
Offside
Reggie Smith.
with contact. Defense number 98. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's Robin Utvretten. So 1st down and 5 after the catch by Mills. And we're inside of 4 minutes, so you're starting to get down to the point where Rutgers is really going to worry about that clock. Both sides do have all 3 timeouts. That will help Rutgers. 4 guys shooting through the gap. Julius Turner and also Aaron Lewis helping to lead the way. Rutgers' 10th tackle for a loss.
Yeah, well, Turner will shoot right in. He just stunts across the center. He's right there, right in the face of Mills. Little swim, uses that size, speed, agility to get in there. Aaron Lewis, talented true freshman, helps clean it up.
Scarlet Knights improving on their already league best 7.5 tackles for loss per game. 2nd and 7. And they get him down quickly again. So 3rd down, a huge 3rd down upcoming.
Yeah, Max Williams made a nice tackle that time. Running behind the pullers. Able to get Mills down, forcing a big 3rd down.
Rutgers takes the timeout. We'll take it with them. 28-21. Thank you very much. Nebraska 2 yards away from 600. That Rutgers defense, James, we mentioned 10 tackles for a loss, but they have been on the field for 79 plays.
That's a lot, and that's a lot. You talk about their 9th straight conference football game. Greg Schiano telling us on the call earlier this week how much that's taken a toll on his guys, having no break, going 9 straight. They're thankful for him, but it still is a battle. It's a lot of plays for his defense.
And Rutgers and Penn State, the only 2 teams to play every game this year in the Big Ten. Outside on 3rd down, and a great tackle by Trey Avery. And that keeps Oliver Martin short of the line.
He had a long way to go to make that tackle. Has to go through all that traffic. Does a nice job putting his hat right on the body.
Well, here we go. They're keeping the offense out there. Let's see if this is just to try to draw them off sides. There's no way they snap this, right?
I wouldn't think so. Rutgers has been struggling in the second half on offense. They went and tried to put Johnny Langan in the last series to get a little spark. I'd punt him and make him drive at 90+.
Well, they're going to run it with Martinez, and they pick up the 1st down. The gamble pays off for Scott Frost.
Give it to your stud at quarterback, and if you're Greg Schiano, that one's going to hurt. Tyreek Maddox-Williams had an opportunity, unblocked on the edge. Your contained player, got to stay outside. Martinez does a nice job. He presses downhill, forces Maddox-Williams to stop his feet, and just uses that speed and that ability to go around the edge. And what a drive for Nebraska. 10 plays so far, eating up a ton of clock.
And Martinez will take a timeout. As this big night continues, the Cornhuskers trying to polish one off in Jersey. Coming up after the game, the Big Ten Live football postgame presented by State Farm. We'll get you caught up on everything around the Big Ten Conference with Mike Hall and friends. He doesn't have many. They're all here in the building tonight.
And they're paid. It's paid to be here with them.
But Scott Frost decides to go for it. Martinez gets the 1st, and now Rutgers 2 timeouts. If you're doing the math, best case scenario, they're going to get it back with very little time here, unless they can force a turnover. Mills out to the 30-yard line. And Rutgers is going to take one of those 2 remaining timeouts. We'll be right back.
Just 100 game after 100-yard game on the ground.
And Nebraska has channeled their inner Muhammad Ibrahim tonight with 363 yards on the ground, and now is 2nd and 5. Up the middle, and let's see, I'm assuming Rutgers will burn that last timeout here.
Rutgers calls their 3rd and final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
So timeout with 1:38 left. 1:38 left. Remember, stay tuned. Football postgame presented by State Farm when we are done here. If Nebraska gets the 1st down here, this ball game's over. Rutgers out of timeouts. Martinez keeps, and fittingly, Martinez ends the ball game right there.
What a drive by Nebraska. You see here, you can see why they're so high on Cameron Jurgens. He pulls around on a center. So that's a quarterback little Q stretch play with the center pull. Martinez cuts it up, but Brandon, the drive, 13 plays, 70 yards, eating up all this clock. It started with a Cam Taylor-Britt interception on their own 9-yard line. And they got the ball, though, 7:35 on the clock. Mostly on the ground, you're able to eat it all up, take away the timeouts. That's a winning drive. Scott Frost can watch this drive with his young team over and over and say, gentlemen, that's how you do it. That's how you seal a football game in the Big Ten on the road.
And Nebraska with Adrian Martinez and Dedrick Mills over 150 yards rushing. It's the first time that they've ever done that with 2 guys over 150 as a Big Ten team.
Over 620 yards. Before that kneel down, which they do it out of the pistol, so it takes some yards off the overall, but over 600 yards of offense for the Cornhuskers.
Impressive. And despite the turnovers, they find a way to get a win here in Jersey, 28-21. And although it's been a season that most Nebraska fans were disappointed with, coming in at 2-5, Scott Frost says, look, we are on track with where this program needs to be in the next couple of years. They felt good about the signing day this week. And the offense, as you said, James, sure looks sharp here behind Mills and Martinez.
Well, they look so impressive. And whenever you're able to get that, I mean, the yards per, they had explosive runs, but to have 2 guys on your team getting over 6 per carry. You mentioned the amount of plays, the amount of games in a row for Rutgers. It wore them down throughout this ball game tonight. But for that young man right there, Dedrick Mills, it has to feel good in what could be your last college football game. We don't know what he's going to do with the opportunity to come back, as we talked about earlier. But to go out like that, that'd be pretty sweet.
And Dedrick Mills, as we talked about, almost quit football 4 months into his JUCO career. Family pushed him to stick with it. And if this is the final script that he writes as a Nebraska Cornhusker, pretty impressive. That'll do it from Piscataway. Thank you so much for spending your Friday evening with us. For Coley Harvey and James Laurinaitis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. For producer Jim Ressler, director Pat O'Connor, and our entire crew, thanks for watching, everybody. The season finale, Nebraska 28, Rutgers 21, as we sign off from New Jersey.